Hello. In California, we have two rapid response kitchens, just like this one here. We keep one in Northern California, one in Southern California. Today I'm going to take you on a brief tour of the Southern California trailer. So come on inside. All right, the first major piece of equipment I'm going to show you is the convection oven. We have two in this trailer. And to turn this convection oven on, the first thing you're going to do is make sure the fan is on low. You don't want to have it on high because sometimes it has trouble lighting when it's on high. It'll blow the pilot out. So keep it on low while you're starting it. Next, you're going to push the on button just to turn on the power and then set your temperature. It's as simple as that. When they are on, they do get very hot. This is a safety precaution. Everything on the outside is hot. Several people have already gotten burns, minor burns, from touching the outsides. What I like to do is when I'm cooking in here, when the doors come open, I like to just call out, "Oven doors open." That way nobody will accidentally back into them. Also with these ovens, you do not ever want to use a lightweight aluminum foil. The foil can come off of your pans and get sucked right into the fans that are in here, and that's a mess to try to clean up. Also with these ovens, if you're cooking anything that has a lot of liquid to it, like chicken, when it cooks, it produces a lot of liquids. You do not want to use this top shelf. When you're using the top shelf and you're pulling something out with a lot of liquids, look what can happen. It's so easy to tip and you pour that hot liquid all over you. So you do not want to use this top shelf. Also, with anything you're cooking up here, when you take out these pans, make sure you have space to put them down behind you because they are very hot. And as you can see, you've got to kind of maneuver these pans a bit to be able to turn around and set them down. So before doing anything in this oven, make sure you've got space available, you've got your oven mitts on, you're aware of what types of food have been cooked in here. In addition to that, when you're traveling, it's okay to store something up here, something lightweight. But as soon as you are setting up the kitchen, make sure you take that down because even the top gets very hot and it will burn whatever is there. All right, now let's talk about our next piece of equipment, the range. The range has the flat top griddle, and this griddle, when the pilots are lit, can start to get a little bit warm on the surface. So just use caution on what you set down on here. If you're putting pans on it, sheet pans, they'll be fine, but just don't put any paper products on this when the pilots are lit. Also, when you're cooking with this range, there are 4 burners under this one, and the ones on the left seem to be hotter than the ones on the right. So when you're cooking, just keep an eye on what you're cooking and move things around so they'll cook more evenly. This range also has 2 standard ovens, one here and one here. And the nice things about these ovens is that they will fit an entire sheet pan on each rack. So we can cook a lot of food in here. We also have the 2 burners. And the pilots, you can see them here and here. Now about the pilots, they will usually stay on with no problem. But if you ever do notice that something is not heating up, it could be that the pilots have gone out. So to see the pilots for the range, or excuse me, the flat top, look down inside these slots and you'll see a little blue flame down in there. If you don't see it, the pilots have gone out. And same thing with the ovens. You can look down in here and you'll see the pilots down there. And as I've already said, with the burners, the pilots are here and here, and if they're out, you won't see them. So if that happens, call your Blue Cap or call your setup team and they'll take care of that for you. Now, our tilt skillet. Some of you may not have seen one of these before. It's a great piece of equipment. I'll explain the tilt portion of it in a few minutes. But this tilt skillet can hold up to 30 gallons of food, like soups, stews, chilies, things like that. You can also cook a lot of things in here. You can do roasts, you can do hamburgers, hot dogs, lots of different foods in here. If you're doing something like a chili or a stew, you can serve up to 480 main course dishes out of this, or closer to 600 side dishes. So it'll cook a lot of food. Now, when you need to remove food from here, there are a couple ways to do that. You can use a scoop, scoop the food out and put it into your serving container. Or, the reason this is called a tilt skillet, it will tilt up. You move the handle, and you'll see it starting to tilt upwards. And I won't go all the way right now, but this will go all the way up. You can have a Cambro here or other serving container, and the food will pour right into it. To turn on this tilt skillet, what you'll do is the controls are right down here. First, you're going to turn on the power and then set the temperature. It's as simple as that. Now, one thing to know about this tilt skillet, we've had many bruised shins because of this handle. So when this tilt skillet is not in use, just pull the handle out and store it someplace where it's easily accessible. Now, to light the pilots in this tilt skillet, in the Southern California trailer, the pilot is an automatic lighting pilot, so you don't need to worry about that. In the Northern trailer, it does have to be lit manually, but your setup team will have already taken care of that. To know if the pilot has gone out, you can remove this front door and take a look inside, and if you don't see the pilot lit, just contact your Blue Cap or your setup team and they'll take care of that for you. Now, there's a proper way to store food, and we have a chart here explaining that. And I won't go into that a lot right now, because when you take your Serve Safe class, you'll be learning more about the proper way to store food. But here's a quick chart if you need to take a look at it. Moving on around, we have an on-demand water heater. Temperatures are preset, but we can change it if we need to. Now, onto our sinks. We have a 3-part sink for washing, rinsing, sanitizing. This is a health code requirement. There again, you're going to learn more about this in your Serve Safe class, so I won't go into that too much. But we do have a chart that explains the washing, rinsing, sanitizing. The other thing to know about this sink is everything that goes down these drains gets put into a storage tank underneath, a wastewater storage tank. We don't want large food particles to be in there. So always make sure to keep your strainers in the sinks and clean them out often so the food particles don't go down inside. Now, if you ever see water backing up into the sink, it could be because the storage tank is full. If that happens, just call your Blue Cap or setup team and they'll know how to drain it. This is our 3-part sink. We have a hand washing sink, which is also a requirement. We're not washing our hands over dishes. We have a separate hand washing sink. We have our soap, paper towels. These are easily refillable. This will pull open and you refill from the top. And this will just turn the key. If you're refilling this, please make sure to leave the key here so we don't lose it. Now, we have multiple venting systems, air systems in this trailer. One thing we have here is the fan, the exhaust fan. That gets turned on right back here. And there's also the hood light switch back here. So turn this on. Whenever this is on, you also want to have on the makeup fan, which is right back here. The makeup fan will pull air into the trailer as the exhaust fan is pulling the air out. So you want to have both of those on at the same time. We also have an air conditioner right up here. It does help to keep it cool in here, but it doesn't make it comfortably cool all the time, but it will help. We also have an air curtain in the Southern California trailer. We don't have one yet in the Northern California trailer, but we'll work on that. So the air curtain should be on whenever the door is left open. That will help to keep the flies out. So just turn that on. Now, up above here, you'll see these small boxes. This is where we store all of our small equipment, and we also have seasonings. There's various supplies up here. You can take a look at that sometime. Down below is where we have all of our larger equipment. Our pots and pans, the large sheet pans, cutting boards are down here. So all of your larger equipment is down here. Coming on down here, in the Northern California trailer, right here, we have a large coffee maker that is mounted onto the work surface. In this trailer, we don't have that type of coffee maker, but we do have a portable coffee maker that we store down here underneath. This coffee maker, you can plug it in inside the trailer or on the outside of the trailer. We have a shelf, you can plug it in, put it on, and then there's a plug down underneath that you can plug that into and keep the coffee outside. Right, in this trailer, we have a manual that will explain everything in here, and this is always available. We keep this in a shelf right up here. In the Northern California trailer, it may be in a slightly different place, but you'll find it. It should be there. All right, now some of the safety items in this trailer is the fire system. On this side, we have the suppression system that when this is pulled, chemicals will drop over the range and the tilt skillet to put out a fire there. We have the smaller fire extinguishers here. But I will tell you, if anything is on fire in here, if you are not comfortable with pulling out these fire extinguishers, just get away from the trailer, get as far back as you can. We don't expect anyone to handle these if there's a fire in here. Just if you feel safe doing it, then that would be great. Now we're going to go outside for just a minute, and I'll show you if we needed to quickly shut off the electricity in here or the gas to the entire trailer. I'll show you quickly how that can be done. All right, if you needed to shut off the electricity quickly, here's the breaker panel. You would lift this up. There are 2 sets of main breakers. Just shut them both off. If you're on generator, then the top ones are going to be on, just like you see it right now. Or if we're on shore power or utility power, this one will be on. So just go ahead and hold that, shut it off, and walk away. Now, once the electricity is off, if you feel like you can shut the gas off, then you're going to come on around to the front. This valve right here turns on gas to the whole trailer. So you will just shut that off. That will shut off gas to the trailer. If you have time, then you can also shut off the gas to whichever tank is on. You'll know which one is on by looking at this valve. Right now, it's pointing to this one, and you would turn the knob to shut off the gas, and that will shut off all the gas in the trailer. So that's just a brief overview of the operations of this trailer. The one in Northern California is very similar, and as you're on site, if there are any differences, you'll be told about that. So thank you for your attention, and we hope to see you at the next deployment.